है तेरी कहानी पग पग प्यारे दंगल 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 सूरज तेरा चढ़ता ढलता गर्दिश में करते हैं तारे दंगल 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 दंगल.
Great morning, my dear friends. Bhupeshanand this side again. Today, with full energy, with full motivation, I am going to start with lecture number 3. We are doing reading number 41 as per 2018 CFA curriculum level number 1. And the name of the subject is Portfolio Management, 7 to 10% weightage of marks. And today, in last 2 lectures, I have covered something about returns, how to calculate return. There are 8 learning outcomes in this reading and we have covered 2 learning outcomes. Learning outcome is very important, that is how to calculate the measure and interpret the different types of returns. We have calculated 8 types of returns in last 2 lectures. Now the main point is why we want to calculate return and how they will be helping us in calculating the other learning outcomes. So today in lecture number 3, I will be starting with what is the meaning of variance, what is the meaning of mean, what I mean by standard deviation, what is the meaning of covariance, and how we can calculate correlation with the help of the calculator. Because with the help of calculator, I can calculate covariance also. So let me tell you that these things, please take out your calculators, please take out your registers and start reading your curriculum. I will be doing learning outcome number C. So in learning outcome number C, what I have written, for you, let's firstly see what are the different slides which I have given to you. Lecture number 3, portfolio risk. So I will be discussing, I am doing this reading number 41, portfolio risk and return, part 1. Learning outcome C, calculate. We will calculate and interpret the mean. Mean means average, expected value. Because when I calculate mean of future values, it will be named as expected value. When I calculate for past data, for historical figures, it will be named as mean, average, mu, middle value, median, mode. All we have covered in quant also. So today's lecture will be somewhat repetition of quant, but because still it is given specifically, so I will be touching all the points. So this is the learning outcome number C, calculate and interpret the mean, variance and covariance. Now variance is calculated for individual security. Standard deviation is calculated for individual security. But covariance, when I say co means 2. We will find out the relationship between 2, that which type of relationship they have. What is the relationship between Abhishek Bachchan and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan? Whether they have positive relationship, whether they have negative relationship, or whether they have zero relationship. And what is the relationship between Aishwarya Rai Bachchan and Salman Khan? So we will be trying to find out the relation, positive, negative, or no relation. And then we will quantify that how much is the magnitude of that relation by calculating R, correlation. So today I will be telling you 4 or 5 numbers, how to calculate those numbers with the help of calculator. So first point which I want to tell you is dreams is not what you see in the sleep. Dream is not what you see in the sleep. Rather, dream is the thing. Dream is the thing which does not let you sleep. Mr. Rahman, late Rahman, our president, told us, dreams are not what you see in the sleep. Rather, dreams are what you will not allow you to sleep. For example, your dream is to clear this CFA level number 1 examination in first attempt. So don't sleep. Don't sleep. So the first point which I want to tell you is that please take out your registers if you want to fulfill your dreams. You have to write down these things. No doubt you have covered in quant, but because again it is covered in portfolio management, so it is better you just write down. So first point which I want to tell you is something about, no doubt I have to tell you about mean, but mean is simple, mean is average. Mean is a middle value. Mean is the expected value. It can be named as expected return. Average. That is named as mean. For example, in normal distribution, we have prepared a curve. So this value in normal distribution, in the middle value, mean is equal to median is equal to mode. So that average, that happening, average happening is named as mean. Now we want to find out the variance. So let me draw a normal curve for you. So this is named as mean. If I say, or this can also be named as expected return, mean return, because we want to calculate return. We want to find out the deviation from this mean return. Let this return be 15%. For example, we are given with different information for historical figures, past figures, and we have calculated the average of these all figures. Average of these figures, and the representative is 15%. So I will say mean, average, central value is 15%. Now if I want to find out, because different observations are given to me, and I want to find out that how much is the difference in the values of observation as compared to the mean value. It means I want to find out the difference between this and this, this and this, this and this, this and this. So it means I want to calculate deviation. When I say deviation, because I want to calculate from central value, from the standard value, so it is named as standard deviation. For example, Mr. X is standing here and Mr. Y is standing here. For example, Mr. X is standing here and Mr. Y is standing here. This is Mr. X and this is Mr. Y. So if I want to find out the distance between the central value, Mr. Y is far. Mr. Y has a higher deviation as compared to X. If I compare it from middle value, average value, expected value. So this is nothing but standard deviation. Standard deviations are always calculated for individual securities. Because standard deviation, we use square root, so the value becomes very small. So we want to magnify it. We calculate the variance of that. So variance is equal to square of standard deviation. So in today's learning outcome number C, I will be telling you how to calculate variance, how to calculate covariance, how to calculate correlation, how to use calculator, how to calculate the value of R. All those calculations I will be telling you. So higher the standard deviation, higher the difference of Y, because Y is more far as compared to X on the central value. So this is named as standard deviation. How to calculate it? How to find out? Very simple. You know, this is the value, this mean value, let it be X bar. Let the variable be this be X and let this be X bar. So if I want to find out, I will find out X minus X bar. X minus X bar raised to power 2 whole square divided by either n or n minus 1. That I have already told you in Kant, that when we will be dividing by n or when we will be dividing by n minus 1. Now if I want to find out for Y, then I will be finding out the difference, supposing the average value of Y observation is different. So accordingly that we can calculate. So firstly, write down point number 1, variance / standard deviation. Now, because we have already calculated returns, so we want to find out the deviation or the variance of returns for an individual security. Variance or standard deviation is always calculated for individual security, but covariance, co means 2. We calculate the relationship between two securities. That is covariance. So in covariance, we will be covering with two variables. In this variance or standard deviation, we will be covering only with one variable. A point. In finance, the variance and standard deviation are common measures, are common tools. I will say common tools of investment risk. Common tools of investment risk. And I have already told you in quant how to calculate variance. Variance is equal to X minus X bar whole square divided by n or n minus 1. We will not take square root. And standard deviation is square root of variance. Higher the variance or higher the standard deviation, more will be the deviation, more will be the risk in that individual security. But mind you, standard deviation is an absolute tool. It is an absolute tool for calculating the risk. Now I'm going to covariance because I should be aware of some numbers. Because with the help of covariance, with the help of correlation, with the help of standard deviation, with the help of variance, and we can calculate, the risk. Now, firstly, we can calculate the risk of a security. Then I will be telling you how to calculate risk of a portfolio. That is standard deviation of a portfolio. The big formula, I will be telling you that, but the history, but the ground level is here. Covariance. Now, as the name indicates, co. Co means two. Co means two. It means two persons are standing here. If Mr. A is walking in this direction and Mr. B is also walking in this direction, it means there is something in between them. There is something in between that boy and girl. They are watching to each other. It means there is something going on. But if Mr. X, if hero is going in this direction and heroine is going in this direction, it means they have negative relationship, negative covariance. So covariance means it tells us the relationship between the two variables. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be zero. When I say positive, it means both the variables, both the direction of the assets, both the returns of those assets will move in the same direction. If covariance is positive, then the return will move in the same direction. But if covariance is negative, the return of security X will move in this direction and return of Y will move in this direction. It means in the opposite directions. And if there is no relationship, it means there is no linear relationship between X and Y. There is no relationship. For example, I have just written an example that sale of, just firstly write down the measures, the extent to which variables move together. Covariance is a measure, the extent to which two variables move together. It means the extent to which the two variables move together, whether they are moving together or not, that measure is named as covariance. Example I have written, if there is more rainfall and if there is a sale of umbrellas or sale of raincoats, I will say they have the positive relationship. But in case of more rainfall, there will be no sun. And if there is no sun, then there will be no sale of sunscreen lotions. It means rainfall and sunscreen lotion have a negative covariance. But rainfall and sale of umbrellas have the positive relation, positive covariance. So just see in the next page, I have given the explanation. Covariance can be positive, covariance can be negative, covariance can be zero. Positive, please write down, my dear friends, please sit straight and please write down in your register, because then only it will be, it will be helping you to clear your examination in first attempt. A positive covariance means two variables are moving in same direction. A negative covariance means two variables are moving in opposite directions. For example, the return of or the price of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, is going up. The price and the returns are going up. And the return and the prices of Apollo tires is going down. So I will say they have the negative relationship. But if the price of Wipro and price of Infosys, they are moving in the same direction, so I will say the stock of Wipro and the stock of Infosys, they have positive covariance. Getting my point? So just write down a zero covariance. A zero covariance, it means there is no relationship between the variables. Now how to calculate covariance? Again, I have already told you in quant, but still write down here also the formula, summation of x minus x bar. Let me the two variables, x is variable x and y variable. X is the return of Infosys and y is the return of Apollo tires or any company which we are given with, for which I want to find out the relationship, divided by n minus 1. X bar is mean or variance or this. So with the help of a case study, I will be telling you how to calculate variance, how to calculate covariance, and how to calculate correlation with the help of calculator. So it will be very kind of you if you just write down this case study. I am waiting for 1 minute. Please write down the figures, please write down the numbers, and take out your calculators. Suppose there are two variables. I have assumed that there are two variables, or there are two stocks, or there are two companies, because we want to calculate covariance. So co is always for two. Deviation, standard deviation, and variance is always for one individual security. So let the two variables be variable x and variable y, and we are given with the past or historical returns of these x and y. It means I am standing here, and I am given with the last figures, last four figures. I am standing here. So I am given with the historical returns of x. That in year 1 it was 10%, and when the return of x was 10%, the return of y was 2%. Again in year 2 the return of x was 12%, and when the return of x was increasing from 10 to 12, the return of y has decreased from 2% to minus 8%. It means they have negative, 15% increasing, it is again negative. This is negative, this is positive. It means prima facie, if I can say that the relationship between x and y is a negative relationship. So calculate variance of x, calculate variance of y, and then calculate variance of covariance between variable x and y. I think I have already told you in quant, and with the help of calculator we can easily calculate it, but we cannot calculate covariance with the help of calculator. With the help of calculator, we can calculate standard deviation of x, we can calculate standard deviation of y, but not covariance. So for that we will be firstly calculating correlation, R, from the calculator. And then with the help of that R we can calculate covariance, and then we can easily calculate the formula. We can use the formula. So just see variance of x is 97.67. I have already calculated. I will show you how I have done it. Variance of y 82.67, and covariance is minus 83.33. Firstly, just write on this note, very important note for practical tip, a practical tip for you, how to use a calculator. How to calculate covariance, how to calculate variance. We can calculate standard deviation, the whole square, standard deviation of y whole square. Then we can calculate R. With the help of R we can calculate covariance. Just write down. R is equal to covariance upon standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Covariance is equal to R into this. This is standard deviation of x, and this is standard deviation of y. Hope you are writing it. Sir, these slides I have taken a pain, I have prepared it before taking the class, so that time can be saved. Please write down, my purpose will be solved. If you just write down, your concepts will be clear. If you solve it, your concept will be more clear. And you can easily attempt, and you can easily get to in first attempt. So my best wishes are always with you. So please do it, my dear friend. Be happy. Be jolly, be cheerful. I am not doing that because I have already told you in quant as well as the calculator technique. So please do it, and the answer I have given to you. So this is lecture number 3. I have completed learning outcome C. I will be moving to next learning outcomes in next lecture number 4. Up till then, dua salam, be happy, be jolly.